So I'm looking at January 2018 broadcasting still. It's the talk by Garrett Loesch. It starts minute 50 something. I didn't write that down exactly, but he opens with the verse from Zechariah 4:10, who has despised the day of small beginnings. And of course, he's going to talk about the context a little bit and then transition over to this being fulfilled in the organization. Now he's avoiding the use of the words fulfilled and types. When you look at it in the older literature, I did find one reference in Paradise Restored where he's the same thing he's talking about here is called a type and antitype. But in this talk, he is avoiding that terminology for obvious reasons, and he calls it a parallel. The Israelites returned from Babylon. Was there a parallel in modern times? Yes. Of course, that is the organization. So he talks a lot about buildings being built, and they were increasing in, buildings and property, and also increasing in numbers. And I did notice a funny thing that he mentioned numbers in this talk several times as proof of Jehovah's blessing. You know how they talk about that. But he also says at minute 58, numbers alone aren't like really a proof, but they use that all the time. So I was just talking to somebody who pointed out to me, a friend who talked about how they say contradicting things sometimes in the same talks or in the same articles. So I felt like that was that was a real example of that. Then later in the talk, 1 hour, 12 minutes, he talks about the great crowd. And he's talking about Revelation 7:9. These verses they use to prove their two-class system, Revelation 9, Revelation 7:9 and 15. He talking about them being before the throne. And of course is pointing out that doesn't mean heaven because the earth is Jehovah's footstool. So the thing about it, though, is that when you look up, you can just try this yourself, Blue Letter Bible Concordance, put the words in before the throne to search and put quote marks around it. And so everything else that's before the throne in the book of Revelation is in heaven. So I have a list here of what is before the throne in Revelation: angels, the 24 elders, the 4 living creatures, the 7 spirits, the crystal sea, the 144,000, and the golden altar. So it's just that one instance where they want to say before the throne is the earth, okay? So another point about the two-class system is terminology for the great crowd. It matches the terminology in the Old Testament for the seed, the multiplied seed of Abraham. It talks about they cannot be numbered. That's Genesis 16:10, Genesis 15:5. He's saying the descendants of Abraham or the seed of Abraham, if you and count the stars if you are able to number them. I will multiply thy seed, that's in 22:17, as the stars of the heavens and the sand which is upon the seashore. Then it says in Genesis 32:12, I will make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And as Revelation 7:9 says, a great multitude which no man could number. I think that's real interesting also. So, yeah, that's about it for Before the Throne. And let's see, that's all I got right now.